Hopefully it's at a good vantage point. Hopefully. How does it look? Wow, I look way... Okay, I want to turn a little that way. I feel like my head's cut off.
You get it cut off?
How do you lower this?
Lower it? Oh. God. Well, you just make this out. I guess you can just push this down. There.
It's a little cut off.
Okay, just a sec. I'm just trying to get it. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe this thing isn't working real well. Okay, so let's do it. Yeah, something broke on here, it seems like. Okay. I don't know if it's working. Gotta get it. Maybe it's supposed to go this way, so let's pull this out and turn it around. You're driving me nuts. You're driving me nuts, phone. You could just make it really low like that.
How do you do that? By stretching the legs out?
Yeah, just make sure there's
okay.
some adequate support there.
Okay.
But now, it's kind of in the shadows, so I don't know if you need more light.
Well, I'm trying to, because it's...
Okay.
Because it cuts off.
Okay. So...
Then my head's going to be cut off.
Okay, well then just square it down like that.
Okay. Good.
Now,
okay.
I don't know, but you're in the shadows, sweetie. So maybe you want to pull it out here.
Well,
but you know what it is? It's because the wind. Why don't you set it up in the wind?
No, I think it's fine. Okay. Yeah, maybe we can go into the other room.
Okay. Just make this really well. Okay.
Sometimes that happens. Alright, so I can see that things are rearranged the way that they should be. I can see the screen up there. I can see everyone in here. So that's good. This should be the way that it should be. Alright, so today I just want to bring you in here for a really quick meeting. Out of the many meetings that I have made, and a lot of them that I've deleted, but anyway, we are starting afresh. And it's going to be many years until I stop being an Amenten leader. It's going to be many years until I stop doing this. And you know why? Because it's been many years of doing this. and almost 2 years of content thrown down the drain. Isn't that crazy? Almost 2 years of content deleted. That's insane, isn't it? To think that I went through so much time and then it all meant nothing. To think that 2 years from the end of 2020 through August of 2022, for those of you that were at my Amenten that time, to think that those 2 years meant absolutely nothing. Isn't that crazy to think that 2 years mean absolutely, or almost 2 years, and yet it means nothing? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that mind-blowing to think that I recorded so much on this phone, so many videos, and a lot of them I have gotten rid of for certain reasons. And I can't tell you how guilty I feel for deleting videos, and I will continue to talk about this until the cows come home. Because I do feel really guilty, and I feel really regretful about that. Which is why I'm going to continue doing this stuff for well over 2 years. Well over 2 years. And that's a huge reason why when I give Amenten meetings, when I make requirements and have these plans, that things get followed. And things go way better than they did. And there is way less limitations than there was in the past. And that there is more. That there is upcoming, there is going to be more. Annette Pines getting fulfilled. Things happening. More stuff happening. Way more stuff happening. And it's really sad. It's really sad. But in terms of what's going on today, this is what I really want to get into. I really want these meetings to be really substantial. And when you have done stuff that is in the past, or that was in the past, that you feel guilty about, it shouldn't affect the impurities of the present. Meaning this phone that I'm recording off of should be just as good as it was when I made all those videos, a lot of which I've saved, some I've deleted. I'm looking to start fresh, and I'm looking to go back to the way it was, but start afresh again, in new directions. If you can do so much more in the present than you can in the past, and if the past has affected the impurities of the present, I don't know about being in the present. I don't know about living fully in the present. I don't know about embracing the present. Unless you can do things to move in new directions, unless you can have new beginnings, unless you can purify, unless you can improve. And I'm looking to find ways to purify. I'm looking to find ways to raise my vibration. I'm looking to find ways to put myself into the place that I was a couple of years ago. And there will be more plans and way more going on and way more stuff happening than there was in the past. So if the past just seemed like a lot going on, then you haven't the faintest idea what will happen in the future. And I do want to go over a couple of those things with you today. So buckle up your seatbelts. Because I will tell you what I say, if it sounds crazy, well, guess what? It is going to happen. It is going to happen. And there will be way more stuff happening. And it will be more colorful, more vivid, more eventful, more exciting, and more full of life than in the past. Now, the first thing that I want to get at today is the first thing I want to explain is the reason why you're in here in this living room instead of in the sunroom doing and me having this meeting. Well, the reason is because next month in March, on March 7th, Saturn is going to change signs. And this is going to be really significant, very significant. It's going to mark the flavor and the energy and the themes that we'll be dealing with for the next 2.5 years. I'll have a whole video that I'll do in my YouTube channel, which will come out hopefully next week or the week after next on this transit. And because of the Venus-Neptune conjunction we have going on today, they're both conjuncting in Pisces, making for romantic affairs going well, unconditional love, spirituality, compassion. That's really going to add to this story of the Piscean story. So we've had Jupiter in Pisces, we've had the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction last year, the benefic planet of Jupiter in Pisces. Anything is possible, dreams, imagination, surrender, compassion, all those things. But now Saturn is coming into the picture, and it will stay there for an even longer stay in Pisces. So Saturn's changing signs into Pisces in 2023, and Pluto moving to Aquarius in 2023, on March 23rd. And with Saturn changing signs, with these astrological changes and placements, we have to consider the customs of what is going on. So remember the definition of customs. Anything and everything. Customs can include aspects of an occasion, such as the weather, the food, the things that people say, even people's appearances, the music, the energetics of the room, what is going on there, what you're reading about, what you're watching, the location of a certain place, of a certain situation. It involves a lot of things put into one kind of occasion with nostalgia of the past or another realm or experience that wasn't, otherwise true, with the visions of something else, with the visions of being in another world, of this event happening, of this occasion happening, of you going to this place, doing this thing that does not relate to your current situation. Even though you get a vision of that in your current situation, then that also forms a custom. And there will be several customs that will be inherent during Saturn and Pisces. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. There will be meetings that I will be doing in this living room during this particular transit amount of time. And the customs and visions that I get right now may be very different in a couple months from now. But what I'm getting out of this particular ingress of Saturn into Pisces is weather that is very similar to what you see outside right now. Because weather is an important part of what makes up customs. And so as you can see, it is cloudy, cold, a winter, the Midwest. The question is, What is going to be the custom? What is going to be the occasion or occasions going on March 7th in your life? What is going to be going on at the moment that Saturn moves into Pisces? At the moment that it will change signs. What will someone talk about? What will the situation be? Where will you be? What will you be learning? What and whom will you be engaging at that time? What will you be doing? What struggles or what themes or lessons will be in your life on March 7th? That's really important to consider and know about, because I feel like whatever is happening in your life could set the stage for a really long period, and it's just so fascinating. It is 2.5 years out of your life of Saturn in this placement, of Saturn reaching the end in a way. It's sort of the beginning of the end when Saturn moves into Pisces, because it's completing a 28 to 29 year cycle of Saturn through the sign. And there's many videos about this. There's Astrolada Sheva. She's spoken in huge depth about this placement. And many different astrologers have different takes on it. And I'm going to explore those things with all of you today. That's my plan. Now, I do want to remind you that today at 3, we do have the Aquarius Club's meeting. I will be discussing Aquarius as a child and Aquarius in love. So I'll try to accomplish both of those two sections. But I'll definitely talk about Aquarius in love, in relationship compatibility. So I already have a video I made about that. You can check it out on my Amenten YouTube channel. I have made a post about it. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, please do so, because I will be giving a lot of updates and announcements and videos that you need to see in the community tab of that channel. You can find that channel, you can get access to it by going to that email that I sent you the other day about the live stream that you needed to attend. You click that link, and then it will take you to that live stream, and you'll see a channel. You'll see my name and then a picture, which will look like a moon in Cancer. You'll see the subscribe button. You will click subscribe and then hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates from me. Maybe you don't have to do that, but it would be good for you to do, so that you can ensure that you get the posts, because I will be sending a lot of information through them. Also, I needn't remind you of what is due at the end of today. You've read Fern Grove's chapters, both the readings, writings, and quizzes for those chapters. So you need to read and understand what is going on in order to complete the quizzes and writings for those chapters. So that's going on too today. So that's, this is all stuff for today. So at 3, I'm going to have my club's meeting. I did make it really clear what's going to be in this room. The screen and the microphones are moved to this room, so I'll do it in this room. Talking about like I'm doing now. Aquarius as a child and Aquarius in love, I would definitely read or just look at and get a glimpse of the Aquarius in love section in the Aquarius book. If you're interested in coming to the clubs, that is the book that you'll need. And while you don't have to read the readings prior to that, you can, well, you can go check, grab yourself a copy of that book. I have copies over there on that table. You can grab the book and then read through that Aquarius and Love section, or look through it at least, so that you get a sense and a basic understanding, at least, of what is going to be going on and what I'm going to be talking about today, later today, when I have my Aquarius Causes meeting. So I'll be discussing the Aquarius and Child section, and then Aquarius and Love. Both of those sections I will get into today. So that's all I want to remind you of in terms of announcements today. Now, getting back to what I was talking about with this transition, this rite of passage, in a way. There will be people that will be having a really significant occurrence happen in their life, which is a Saturn return. So, every 28 to 29 to 30 years, you have a Saturn return. Saturn hits that point, that green minute that it is in your natal chart. So, I have Saturn at 7 degrees something minutes of Cancer. So when Saturn enters Cancer, I'm thinking, in the early part of the 2030s decade, I would imagine maybe 2033, 2032, or something like that. I think, okay, let me see, 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So from 2032 to 2034, that's the range of time I think Saturn will be in Cancer, when I'll have my Saturn return at that time. So Saturn will move back into Cancer, which is also water sign. Saturn in Pisces is also water sign. And for those people born 1930, 5, I want to say, to 37, for anyone born 1964 through 66, for anyone born 1994 through 1996, I want to say, or 1993 through 95, you will be having a Saturn return. And I don't think that too many people in this room are going to have a Saturn return. So you have it when you're 28 through 30, 58 through 60, or 88 to 90. So every 28 through 30. And it's basically a reality check to see what you've learned already in your life and what you're moving into, where you're having growth spurt, where you're moving towards, how you're growing. And it asks you to really get serious about your life direction, and your purpose, and why you're here. And to put the work in, and have the persistence, the determination, the stick-it-to-itness, and being willing to work to achieve the results of whatever you need to, where you're not being responsible, of where you need to get serious and co-create your life. So, in short, that's a Saturn return. I do know someone very personally in my life that will be going through a Saturn return within the next 2.5 years, starting on March 7th, March 8th. So some basic customs, some basic visions that I see with this Saturn into Pisces is, I see literal beings. I mean, this is a face picture. These are face pictures, and remember what face picture means. Face picture means when you're looking at a person's face, or when you're thinking about something, a certain astrological placement, for example, or something abstract. what other images come to mind. And these may be random images. A couple random images I have is a ceiling, beams on the ceiling, and also an air conditioner, like a heater almost, like a physical heater that you would see in a hotel room, with nets. That's what I see with this. Another vision that I see, which will actually turn into something that you will all do around this time. And this will be random. But here's what's going to happen. And I'll continue to talk about this because this is really karmic and really significant. It's as if time is going to slow down and things are going to stand still over these next 2.5 years. If you were to imagine that March 7th, whatever goes on March 7th, is going to repeat itself for 2.5 years. Although that's not going to be in the case because, the customs that we're going to be dealing with in March are going to be very different than what we're going to be working with in May and April and July when the nodes change signs and Venus goes retrograde, and also in October when we have a straggler, and then something really tricky going on the day after that straggler. Eclipse, full moon, should be a full moon. And so, basically, what I see is what I have in mind. I have in mind all of you going on buses and standing in the parking lot of a building that I went to in the summer of 2021, starting from June 4th, and then the last time I went to that building was September the 17th. So from that time period, and then from June 4th, during a Mercury retrograde in Gemini, I didn't notice how, wild it would be until the next year. So from June 4th through December 8th, that was the time period when I was in a relationship to somebody who may have had Saturn in Pisces. She was a therapist that I had. And she worked in a white building, a tall white building with columns. And so this is what I see. Like, I imagine what it looks like in winter. I imagine what it looks like in March. What will be happening is you will be going on buses to this building, to this location, to this therapist building. And while we won't be going inside, there will be a time in the day on March 8th, actually. So the day after, it's actually not going to be March 7th. On March 8th. I may change it to March 7th, but on March 8th, you're going to be going to this building in the parking lot and just standing around. And standing in the cold, being quiet, just standing still, reflecting, going inside yourself. As if this building is a temple of God or a higher force or a higher spirit, whatever you define as your higher power. You're imagining that higher power, that higher self, that higher vision for your life, that higher trajectory, that higher timeline, that guru or that teacher or that mentor or your guidance, your guiding light, your someone that you would, there was a song by Susan Boyle, it was called You Have to Be There. And the song is about Christianity, and it is about her relationship with God. That even though there may be fear involved and intimidation with God, that he may be so great of a force, that God itself may be so great of a force, but this person is saying you have to be there because I am here because of you. When I need your help, I want you to answer and help me. When I am in a life-threatening situation, that I need you there, basically. So it's this calling where you need this force there, even though there is maybe a part of you that may not care for or may not want this force in your life. It is a desire, it is a yearning, it is a soul need of where you cannot live without this person. You are here because of this person. Your life means what it means because of this person or because of this higher power. It is a need. And that's what you will be holding, and that's what you will be imagining. And basically, allow yourself to show a real face, a frown face, a face where you are feeling in a soulful way whatever it is that you're feeling, and being receptive and feminine, which are Piscean traits. That whole tight butt syndrome, that whole Melissa Zegler, Gemini, June 13th, egoic, try to hold your mouth and try to be tight, release that. Let that go. I think that this upcoming transit is going to have us embrace the quieter, more neutral, more melatonin humdrum moments of life. And it's about being receptive and feeling and just being with whatever is going on, because Saturn is reality. It is what is going on and what is happening. And so it may come about where you may be feeling depressed or lonely or overwhelmed emotionally or empathic overload or something other, or wanting to escape this reality, not wanting to be here. Now it's time where it doesn't have to be, happy, joyous, and free, where you can really feel those feelings. Because I would imagine that it will intensify those feelings that you have, and it will heighten the feelings, because Pisces is water